This One News update is brought to you by ANZ. We live in your world.
Kia ora, good evening. We have a first-hand look from out on the water tonight at what's left of the cargo ship Rena 12 days after it split apart.
Salvage crews have for the first time been removing containers from the front section of the ship, a more complex mission with the Rena now in two pieces. Kim Vinnell has been covering the story since the start. She joins us now live. Kim.
I went out to the Rena the first day after it ran aground, and I've been out there several times since over the past 3 months. But I can tell you, going out there today was something else. That massive vessel looked like a wafer that's just been snapped in two, and now authorities are having to go to creative lengths to continue this salvage operation. This is the closest we've been to the Rena since she tore in two. Thousands of tonnes of twisted steel protruding from the water, containers still precariously perched, and now those that can't be reached by crane are simply being pushed off.
2 empty containers have been released, and what they've done is let them go, and basically they've gone into the sea. It's a controlled release, and then they pick them up from there and put them onto one of the barges there. Decomposing
food and cow hides are producing a pungent smell that's lingering for kilometres.
They're certainly monitored all the time. They've got chemists on board, they've got gas detectors. They're monitored, and that's purely for the safety of the salvors and anyone on board the vessel. Comfort-wise, yeah, it's not pleasant at all.
10 containers have been lifted off Rena since she split, but more than 500 remain unaccounted for. Despite the progress that's been made taking containers off the front section of the Rena, divers are still working to ascertain exactly where containers from the back section have fallen. It's possible some of those could be on the ship's sunken stern, and authorities are now considering remote-controlled submarines to assess the seabed.
The reason being that is it's for the containers that have landed on 50-metre lines and above that, that's okay. Anything underneath that the divers can't get to, so what they're looking at is bringing in these remote-operated vehicles.
Maritime New Zealand, meanwhile, is estimating a much smaller amount of oil on board.
So we're probably now in anticipation of tens of tonnes rather than 100 tonnes plus.
But are still wary about putting a definite figure on how long it may take to get the Rena off the reef.
We're certainly not looking at months, I don't think, no. I wouldn't say months, I'd say longer than that, yeah.
Authorities well aware plans can change in an instant when the weather is in charge.
So, Kim, why is it taking Salvors so long to assess the stern section of the ship?
Well, divers are having to check toxicity levels all the way down. That's because torn containers may have made that environment dangerous for them. But look, authorities tell us that stern section of the ship is 12,300 tonnes of steel. It's got no buoyancy whatsoever, so it's unlikely to be moving off that reef.
Kim, thank you for that. Kim Vinnell reporting from Mount Maunganui.
This One News update is brought to you by ANZ. We live in your world.